Welcome to Diamond Niners Weekly for Week 13 of the 2023 season. I'm Nick, joined by Kevin.
What's up, Niner Nation?
Producer Brad, making it all go.
Hey.
And special guest host tonight, stepping in and filling his role, Director of Player Development, Coach Tyler Simmons. What's up, Coach?
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Hang on.
I had you muted. My bad.
Producer Brad, cut that man's salary.
I know.
Coach Simmons, we got you now.
Man, happy to be on. Thanks for having me.
All right. We are live on YouTube on a Monday night, the way God intended. If you're out there tuning in, feel free to chime in on in the chat. Also hit us up on Twitter or shout us out other ways, social media, text us directly, whatever you want to do. We are here for you. And got a big show for you tonight. Need to go ahead and move ahead and jump right in. But it is good to see the boys all together. Kevin, we're doing this show together again tonight.
That's right, 2 weeks in a row.
That's awesome. I love it. I know Kevin's schedule has been crazy this spring, folks, with both his boys playing ball. And in case y'all notice, it rains like every other day. So the practice schedule and the makeup game schedule have been nuts, but he's come through it like a champ. We're glad to have him with us tonight. All right. So, Coach Simmons, whenever we get you on, and like you said in the pre-show, you're good for about once a year, and we look forward to those each and every year. Besides the cameos, like Kevin said, besides the cameos you make when we're live at the Hayes and we're blocking the path to your office by being set up in Woody's office. With player development, it's such a big field and such a rapidly expanding field. And, you're kind of immersed in that on a daily basis. Whenever we get you on, we just love to have the opportunity to pick your brain about the field of player development. I guess let's just start off by asking the obvious. Well, the first obvious question is, how have you been? How you're doing? Glad to see you. Part two of the question is, what's new in your world? What's new in the player development front?
Man, it's been good. We've been rocking and rolling with the season, so it's been a lot of fun. But from a player development standpoint, I know many people kind of saw Coach Woodard's tweet a few days ago, kind of alluding to a camera system we're getting. After he sent that tweet, I had several buddies of mine who across baseball are in different companies or different worlds of technology. They kind of reached out to me and wondering what it was. So that's moving forward. And, it's a camera system that's going to be installed into the stadium. It's going to be able to track our guys' movements. It's going to keep a digital record of our players' positions, ball trajectories, timing of plays, timing of events, not only for our team, but, for anyone that plays on our field. So it's going to be awesome to have for team camps, prospect camps. So it's going to kind of put us in a really good position to kind of see how our players are moving when a ball is hit, what the percentage of that play is made. And it's a really cool system that Coach Woodard, I know, was on the phone again today and is in the process of really kind of make a reality, So nothing in stone yet, but it's something that's kind of coming down the pipe for us.
Yeah, hopefully, I think both my boys are going to the Niners camp. Maybe we can get some numbers on those guys this summer.
Yeah, it's really cool because it's going to give the play that Fish made down the line. I think it was on Sunday that the ball kind of drifted on him. We're going to be able to go back in after the game and see what the percentage of that catch was, or if Jake Cunningham makes an over the catch play, or that ball that Stallman caught over his head running into the outfield at third. We'll be able to get to kind of see his route to that ball, how much ground he covered, and it's going to spit out a percentage of the catch that he was able to make, and we'll be able to get catch location. And on top of all of that, we're going to get some really cool metrics from an exit velocity standpoint, distance to the landing location, kind of like Coach Woodard tweeted, fielder transfer times, average speed down the line, secondary, stolen base times. So we're going to be able to kind of dive in a little bit deeper and kind of pair that with the TrackMan system we already have in the stadium. So we're going to be able to get kind of a little bit more of an in-depth picture of our games and everything. It's going to be really cool. And we'll be able to utilize it in the fall for practices and inter squads, and be able just to continue to move forward.
So when you say the percentage on that catch, are we talking about like degree of difficulty kind of thing? Like kind of like when you're watching, like when you might be watching a PGA Tour event and they've got a certain putt lined up and they've got a stat there for you that says the percentages of, the likelihood that you're going to be able to make this putt are, 34% or what have you. Is that the kind of thing you're talking about?
Yeah, we're still in the learning stages with a lot of it, but it's going to take into account the amount of ground that they had to make up to make the catch, the exit velocity of the ball, the exit angle of the ball, and then ultimately it's going to spit out kind of a degree of difficulty and what the percentage of that play being made was. So it's going to take into a lot of different factors and then kind of spit out what it gives as a level of difficulty or a percentage of success, I guess.
Well, I don't know how the math works out on that kind of stuff, Coach, but that play that Stallman made on Sunday, I'm going to put the degree of difficulty on that catch at somewhere between really hard and almost impossible.
Man, it was a great catch. I mean, it was really impressive. Really impressive to catch a ball like that.
If you didn't see it, you weren't watching on ESPN Plus or at the Hayes, and it was a key situation too, because they had some runners on. They were trying to kind of mount a comeback, and ball was hit to sort of in no man's land out there to left field, and Stallman was running directly towards the left field wall with his back to home plate, and essentially looking skyward as that ball came tracking over his head. Willie Mays did it in center field, but Brandon Stallman did it in shallow left. As we said, high degree of difficulty. What do you recall what he had to say when he came out of the field after that?
Man, we just all told him good catch, and in typical Stallman fashion, he just said thank you and got ready to hit. He didn't make a big deal out of it. So he's a really good player and an awesome kid. So pat him on the back, great catch, man. And he just kind of looks at you and say thanks, and he gets ready to kind of for the next thing. So it was just those guys. He's a very confident player, and for him to make a catch like that, it certainly would have made Willie Mays proud for sure.
Yeah. So as far as the player development industry goes, like without giving away some of your secrets I know Kevin's going to be writing all this down because he's got boys playing ball now, but like, where do you go? Where do you go to look for information? Where do you go to keep current with trends? In the academic world, right? You've got certain journals dedicated to different disciplines, and everybody kind of keeps an eye on those. And that's where you keep abreast of the latest and greatest research. As a director of player development, where do you go to keep on the cutting edge?
That's a great question. And Twitter is probably my number one answer. I follow a lot of different MLB organizations, and they're starting to kind of start their own player development Twitter account. So I make sure I follow those. I also follow a lot of the other college programs, their data and analytics Twitter accounts, and then use MLB Network, especially during spring training. I try to tune into as much as I can spring training baseball, because you're able to get an in-depth look, behind the scenes look at what a lot of these different organizations are doing from a player development standpoint. A lot of MLB organizations, they keep their player development pretty close to their chest, but during spring training and kind of the access that the MLB Network gives you, you're able to see a little bit of their hand. So I'm screenshotting a lot of things I see on Twitter. I'm sending myself a lot of tweets that I see, but mainly paying attention to how they're setting up bullpens, or how their catchers are training, or how their hitters are set up in the Cajuns. How are they setting up BP? How are they utilizing hack attack machines? And sometimes you just get a still shot. Sometimes you get an interview. Sometimes you get a full video of kind of what they're doing. I know the Braves put out a really good tweet during spring training about what they do to train their catchers from a transfer and throwing standpoint. And a lot of MLB organizations post their bullpens. So we're able to kind of get a look at how their bullpens are set up with using portable TrackMan, high-speed cameras, strings. So it's really neat. You know, when you look at an MLB bullpen, they've got – and MLB organizations basically have a blank check for the most part from a technology standpoint. But, you know, they've got an iPad on every mound. They've got a high-speed camera on every mound. And they've got a portable TrackMan set up either behind the plate or behind the mound to constantly track those guys' bullpens and their success and their development through spring training. So Twitter is probably my number one place during spring training to go, and in the summer as well, to go to look for what is coming down the pipe from a player development standpoint. I also keep in touch with buddies of mine who are like Baseball Cloud, 643 Charts, Blast, and various other companies who are specialized in player development. You know, talking with those guys to see what's coming down, what's about to hit the ground for a college standpoint. And those guys can usually tell you exactly what's coming down, or they'll at least give you, hey, keep an eye out for this. It's coming. I can't tell you much about it, but it's kind of on its way. So, and also talking with Coach Woodard, Coach Sieb, Coach Bicknell, Coach O, kind of what they've seen across the country from a development standpoint. What do we need to keep our eye out? I've got basically a Google sheet with a wish list that anything and everything I kind of see, I kind of keep. So if someone ever came up to me with a blank check one day, I know exactly where to go and exactly what to get. And I reach out to those companies, and I've got quotes just for random things that are sitting in my inbox in a special tab. So if Coach Woodard ever says, hey, I've got X amount of money, what do you want to get? I've already got the quote and we're ready to go.
That's really cool. Speaking of Blast, Justin Seeger was at the game on Friday. I talked to him a little bit at the A's.
Yeah, Siegs is awesome, man. And those guys at Blast do an awesome job. They do a really awesome job. And they come to a lot of our games. You know, they're big supporters of us, and we're big supporters of them.
I'm going to kind of put you on the spot a little bit here, Tyler. Give me three of your top follows on Twitter for player development type stuff.
I would say Reds catching is a top one for catching. They do a really good job. Let's see here, man. You are putting me on the spot. I'm trying to think. You know, Doc B does a great job with Charlotte Analytics, putting out a lot of really neat things. And then, man, it would probably be want to just pick an MLB player development Twitter account and follow it. You know, any of those are really good, but the Reds do a really good job giving you an inside look of what their catchers' daily lives look like and what they're kind of doing from a training standpoint in spring training.
Okay.
Tyler, this maybe this is just my perception, and its perceptions are often not reality, but it seems like maybe in the last few years that player development, because what you're talking about is on the major league side, that things are sort of top down, that you see it happening in the bigs and then it filters down. It feels like maybe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe not so long ago that it might have been bottom up a little more. That Major League Baseball was kind of catching up to some of the, especially on the technology piece, that maybe they were kind of catching up to some of these trends that are now commonplace. Am I wrong about that?
No, you know, that's a great take, because there was a point in time where a lot of college baseball coaches were taking minor league and MLB jobs, and it's still happening, but you're also starting to see minor league and big league coaches come back to college now. And I think there's a lot to do with that, is that the college game is catching up, or it's at least trying to stay right on the heels of the MLB. Something kind of I follow, and I know Coach Sieb follows it, is MLB trends. So what are they doing in spring training? What is happening in MLB right now that's eventually going to trickle down to us? Coach O and I have had these conversations a lot just with bullpen setups. How can we continue to develop our bullpens in the fall? And Coach Bicknell and I have conversations about the catchers. How can we continue their arm development and their throwing? So you see a lot of different things from the MLB. And I think it's smart to at least take note of it because it's eventually going to trickle down to college. I think you're kind of starting to see that with the play clock. You know, it started in the MLB. It's now made its way down to college baseball. You saw that with TrackMan. TrackMan started in the MLB, and it's made its way down to college baseball. And you're starting to see that now with these camera systems that we've talked about. Hawkeye kind of has circled the market of the MLB, but you're starting to see it now trickle down to college baseball with other companies who are saying, hey, there's a need for this in college baseball. What can we do? So you're starting to see a lot of it, college baseball, at least kind of get up to close to what the MLB's has. Now, Hawkeye is it's a camera system that kind of tracks everything, right? It tracks exit angle, and it's a really expensive unit, but you're starting to see other companies come in and say, hey, we can market it to college programs and make it affordable, which is kind of what we talked about before. But you're certainly not wrong there. The MLB is kind of the leader, and everything kind of trickles down. But I do think college baseball is catching up very fast and making up ground.
Well, now the other thing I'd like to ask you about is you were talking about your sources and the places you get things. As we begin to and we have certainly the momentum is there. We're putting more and more guys in the minors on a yearly basis, and now a lot of those guys that were drafted last year have now gone to their first spring trainings, and you just begin to layer that year over year. We'll put some more guys in the draft this year, I feel sure. What are we able to glean from them as they go out and they get exposed to new training techniques? I mean,
that's a great question. We're very fortunate to have an awesome facility where a lot of pro guys come back to train. Not only our pro guys, but they bring their friends. We've got MLB guys that train at our facility. We've got minor leaguers. We've got guys that even didn't play at Charlotte that come through and train at Charlotte because of the facility we have. So having continued conversations with guys like David, Aaron McKeithen, Nate Furman, Goose, all those guys in the minor leagues now, it's after their first spring training. Like I remember when Amac got back from his first spring training, he was at the field and we talked for a good bit about, hey, what did you guys do from a catching standpoint? What did you guys do from a receiving standpoint? What does your day look like from when you first got to the ballpark, and how long did you have to get your arm ready? And same thing talking with David, like how your hitting coaches. I've continued. Nate Furman and I talk a lot. I need to text that guy and talk to him about a month, but he's been great being sharing insight to kind of what they've been doing. So those guys are huge resources for us. They're huge resources because they're kind of boots on the ground from that aspect. They've gone through their first spring training. We've got guys that have gone through their first spring training, gone through their third spring training, and then guys like Zach Jarrett, who have been playing minor league baseball, independent baseball for quite some time now, who has kind of seen the game change while he's been training. So it's really cool to get all their perspectives.
Yeah, speaking of those guys, we had one on the show last week, David McCabe.
Yeah.
He had a big week in K-Town. Did you guys get a chance? I think he was trying to get by to Hayes to see you guys. Did you guys get a chance to see him?
He did. Him and his dad came by the facility Wednesday, I think. I think they played at – what day did they play on at noon?
That was Wednesday. They had a 11 o'clock start on Wednesday.
Yeah, he came by Wednesday. He hung around practice. His dad got to kind of sneak in there at the end. So it was really cool seeing David and his dad. And we just got to hang out, got to watch practice and just check in on him and see how he's doing. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So David was in Kannapolis all week. We expect to see or hope to see Nate in about a month, a little less than a month now, I guess 3 weeks. But Robert McCabe, David's dad, was able to drive down from Canada and spend the week down here. David's little brother Nate was also playing in the I guess the junior college playoffs.
Yep.
Down in South Carolina, so he was able to check. He was running. He was burning up the roads, man, going back and forth to see David and to see Nate, and really cool. David, and I think he would. He probably doesn't want to talk about this, but he wouldn't mind me saying David was not having a great week. But by Sunday, he hit a home run to the outfield bar out there, where his old man just happened to be sitting. I took him out there on Wednesday and said, this is like one of the best places in this ballpark to watch. And he went back out there, and he did not get the ball initially. Another fan ended up with David's home run ball, and he went over and talked to the lady, and the lady was a Charlotte grad, and she gave him the ball.
That's awesome.
So he went home with a ball to take to Mom Carla as a souvenir from the trip. She was not able to come along this time, but yeah, really cool. Really cool deal to have David in town, and a lot of guys got to go out and to see David over the course of the week, former teammates. So really cool deal. I love that, and it's only going to happen more. And Kevin and I are a little bit partial to Kannapolis because that's just down the road for us. So the more that happens, the better. So we're going to bring some guys on here in a minute, but before we transition into that, we want to recognize a whole group of guys. On Saturday at the Hayes, we're doing this in two parts. Graduates were recognized on Saturday. There'll be a whole another senior day coming up on the final series against MTSU.
Middle.
Against Middle in 2 weeks. But because of graduation coming up this weekend and everybody's, all this COVID eligibility, et cetera, everything's kind of off sequence a little bit. However, what we have here, the picture you're seeing, is Brevin Yarborough, AJ Wilson, Paxton Thompson, Evan Michelson, Matt Little, Colin Kramer, Blake Jackson, Aubrey Gillantine, and Will Butcher, now all proud Niner graduates. So really cool to see that. We're all about baseball here, but don't ever forget that these guys are here to do a little more than play baseball. It's about life. It's about education. And these guys are getting themselves set up for the rest of their lives, whether that's playing baseball or hitting the job market or what have you. So really proud of those guys. Wanted to give them a shout out. Yes.
Very proud of those guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. I just, being in the industry, in education, it's great to see those guys, get their credential basically, because now they've done more than played baseball, right? They've put in the work and the study hours, and now they're going to transition to wherever life takes them, and I love that. I mean, when we start seeing these guys show back up in the stands over the years, and you meet their wives, you meet their kids, it's that just goes beyond that goes beyond the box score or beyond the final score of any particular game. It's just really cool to get to see that over the years.
It is.
So,
it's really neat. It's really neat, especially like you said, you get guys, you get to meet their kids, like Jackson Mims coming back to stadium, you get to meet his daughter, and they've got another one on the way. So it's really cool. It's really cool.
Kevin, the only thing that's not cool about it, Kevin, is how old it makes us feel.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. Well, yeah. What's interesting about the photo, the graduates, is some of them are sophomores athletically, or like last year, Colin Kramer was on the all freshman team, and now fast forward 1 year, he's in the graduate picture. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Well, Coach, we're gonna let you go because I'm looking down here in the queue, and these boys are all lined up. Looks like they're ready to go.
They're ready to rock.
Yeah, we're gonna give you the rest of the night off, and man, this is going to be the most amount of guests we've had at one time. So let's just see what happens, producer Brad. But Coach, we appreciate your time tonight, and man, we'll be talking to you soon. Okay.
Always. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks,
All
Coach.
right. Director of Player Development, Coach Tyler Simmons. So, special treat for you tonight. We're bringing on 3 pitchers at one time. You know, when Woody looks down to the bullpen, he only gets to bring in 1 at a time. We're bringing on 3. That's just how we roll here at Diamond Niners Weekly. We're going to bring on Cam Hansen, Paxton Thompson, and Colin Kramer. Look at this.
How we doing?
What's going on, guys?
How's it going?
Dang, it worked. We got all of you.
Awesome.
What's up, boys?
Not a whole lot.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had an exam, had a final today.
Yep.
That's about it.
So,
Just getting ready
Coach
for
was saying
finals.
this is exam week.
Yep.
Is that got you hopping, or are you relaxed about it at this point? Are you done? What's
I got 2 left on just Wednesday, so I'm kind of just hanging out for the moment.
Yeah, I got one Tuesday and Thursday before we leave. So I'm stressing about the one tomorrow, but I think I'll be all right.
I got 1 tomorrow and then 2 on Wednesday.
Ooh.
So
Pax? What you stressing over?
Financial theories and practices.
Oh,
I'm not looking forward to that one.
But you've already been honored as a graduate this week.
I
so-
know. I'm hoping it
doesn't matter at this point?
Now doing this test.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cam, we saw you. We got a little teaser today that you're going to be mic'd up. At some point, we're going to have a mic'd up session from you. How do you feel about that?
I'm a little scared to see the final product, but I mean, it was fun on Friday for BP.
So, like, do you feel like? I mean, does that are you? It has to make you self-conscious, right? That you know you're mic'd up. So, are you trying to do something different, or are you just like, nah, screw it, I'm going to do what I do?
I tried to keep it as much as like the normal things we do. I was hitting fungos and Kramer was catching me up. So it was kind of normal stuff. Sometimes I caught myself, trying to give some content, but it's harder than you think. So.
Oh, we know it's hard to get content, right, Nick?
I just pretend like the microphone's not there. It's what gets me in trouble a lot of times. Paxton, I saw you shaking your head no, though. Were you disagreeing with that? I mean,
I wouldn't say he was his normal self that day.
He looked like he was trying to put on a show a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to tell the story of how we ended up with all 3 of you here. Because now correct me if I'm wrong. This is all 3 of you guys making your first appearance? Yes or no?
Correct.
Yeah, I thought so. My memory is not what it used to be. Was talking to texting back and forth with Woody today, and they've got some stuff going on, and we were kind of planning out, and he's like, I was just throwing out names. I'm like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we had like, and I just named I put your 3 names out there. I'm like, hey, what about this? And he wrote back and he's like, done. And I said, which one? He said, I got all 3. So, so here you are. I'm like, yeah, we'll take it. Right. I just had to check with producer Brad to make sure we could make this work, have this many people in here at once. And he's like, oh yeah, let's do it. So far so good. Right. Producer Brad?
I don't know about this checking with you. You texted me and said, hey, we're going to have them all on.
Okay. I might have asked for forgiveness.
Hey, I'm okay with it. I just don't remember being asked about it. I just remember being told about it.
Well, I did ask you about it after we had kind of already made plans to do it.
You're doing a great job because we're all still here. So good job.
Yeah.
Miracles of technology.
Yeah. So, boys, let's when we have people on for the first time, right? You guys have been on campus now for a couple of years. We'd like to kind of go back a little bit, and you guys all JUCO products, and made the transition from junior college to D1 coming to Charlotte. We'd like to talk about recruitment experiences. Each one of you could you kind of walk us through like your experience about becoming a 49er?
Start us off, Crane.
Yeah. So for me personally, we started off with right away in the fall. Kind of got a text message, a call from Coach Bick, and then obviously that was kind of during COVID, and so couldn't like go fly out to Charlotte and view campus in person. So he took a bunch of videos throughout the facility, indoor, the locker room, the coach's office, and pretty much just sent that over to me. And then so it was kind of just like a virtual tour. And, you know, I liked what I saw. Everything looked awesome. And that was kind of the gist of it. And then kind of just kept talking and communicating with each other, and then made the decision.
Yeah, mine was very similar to that. Exactly what we're doing right now. That's how I met Coach Bick, Coach Woodard, Coach Simmons, and all those guys. They saw a video of me out on Twitter. I know Coach Bick reached out to some guys that he knew and see what they thought about me. And then I got a DM from Coach Bick on Twitter. And I gave him my phone number. Then I got a call from him after work when I was at JUCO, and we Zoom called like this, and a bunch of videos like Kramer was saying. And I knew it was a place that I wanted to go to. And honestly, they didn't have to say much to get me to commit here. And I was like, that's a place I want to be. And then I committed. And I actually believe that Kramer and I committed on the same day, which is ironic.
Yeah, so I was kind of like Paxton. They saw a video on Twitter of me. Got a DM from Coach Bick, got my number, hopped on a Zoom call with all of them. Luckily, I had a connection previously. Me and Austin Knight were teammates at Tennessee. And so I kind of reached out to Knight, talked to him about it, and he just was telling me how this is a dream. And so Knight kind of sold me before the coaches even set up that Zoom call. But once we hopped on the Zoom call, I really liked the videos and how everything was run. And so I was sold right away.
Now all you guys come to Charlotte from a JUCO, and we've all heard some crazy JUCO stories. Give us one of the craziest JUCO stories that's appropriate for this show, if you could.
I can tell already. Paxton's already editing his story in his head. He started right off the bat like, I don't know how I'm gonna tell this.
No, I got to go on. Kramer, do you got one, or do you want me to go ahead?
I guess I don't know if it's that crazy, but every year to start off at NIAC, which is North Iowa Area Community College, it's basically winter still in February, and there's snow on the ground. So we go up to Minneapolis to play at US Bank Stadium where the Vikings play, and they play like 24/7 there. And so JUCO is usually the last teams to play there. And so we had a doubleheader, and first game started at 10 p.m. and the second game started at midnight. And so that was my first, or I started the second game there. So I was starting the game at 12 in the morning. So I'm opening up an energy drink when I should be sleeping. And the game ended at like 3:30 in the morning. We got home at 5 or 6 in the morning, and coach said we had to go to class.
Jeez.
So what's that like playing in a football stadium like that?
It's pretty crazy. It's a lot of echoes because it's basically empty in there, and yeah, and then kind of the ball can get lost in the stadium lights up there because there's so many. Yeah, it's pretty crazy and fun.
So in JUCO we play double headers, one at home, and then so like Saturday, Sunday would be Saturday double header, Sunday would be double header, one at their place, one at our place. So we played a double header at Lincoln Land on a Saturday, and we were scheduled to play a double header on Sunday. The boys didn't really feel like playing on Sunday, so we knew how to hook the hose up to the field, and we bowled Durham. We bowled Durham the field, and it was supposed to rain Saturday night, and so we knew we didn't know for sure if it was going to be enough rain, so we made sure it was enough water. And I did tell my JUCO coach after I left there, and he says he remembers calling the coach being like, I didn't think we got this much rain. And he's like, the field is flooded. And we didn't end up playing until Tuesday. That's how bad the field was.
Bet you $100
Well,
I get you rain out.
Oh, yeah.
You guys needed a day off, man.
So.
Cam, have you ever sabotaged the field?
I guess my story. I know we thought about it. There's a couple times that we kind of thought about in the fall when we weren't wanting to play or doing something like that. But ours was kind of opposite. We got a lot of rain one game in the spring. We had to play this baseball game. Our tarp didn't work, so we had to go and kind of scrape around our warning track surface. And so we actually put warning track surface onto the dirt on the infield in order to play. So, and that was a pretty crazy thing to do, but I mean, it worked.
So Hanson's doing anything he can to play a game, and Pax is like hosing down a field. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So with that, and all three of you guys are sort of out of region, right? You were at JUCOs in the Midwest. What did you know about Charlotte prior to getting that DM or that text message? Like, realistically, you can be honest. What did you know about this program prior to that?
I didn't know much. I knew a little bit because I went to P3 in St. Louis the summer prior. So I knew the whole Charlotte staff was actually there too. So I kind of got to know them a little bit, as well as Tyson Tucker, who was here before. He went to my junior JUCO. So, I texted him a lot throughout the process too. And so I kind of got a feel too, kind of how with Cam and Knight. So I got a pretty good feel of what was kind of going on. So I had a little bit of knowledge, and I knew, he sold me as well. So, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, I didn't know hardly anything. I know Coach Woodard had just gotten hired and he's going into his second year, and had heard great things about him, and how some people that I'm close with that I trust, I just asked them, what are some places I should try to go to, and the first one he said was Charlotte, and that was because of Coach Woodard. And when I talked to them, I was just completely sold, and that's about all I knew. I didn't know much about the school. I knew absolutely nothing. I mean, when I moved here in August of 21, I went straight to the field, and I first went at the field, and I was like, wow, it blew my expectations out of the water. I really didn't know much about Charlotte, so I got really fortunate to be here.
The only thing I really knew was that Austin Knight was kind of going off in that All-American season. So yeah, that's probably about all I knew.
Well, that's not a bad thing to know. So with the process, right? Did your interaction over, and we all had to do this, COVID and Zoom, and hey, we're doing this show remote right now, but did your did your interactions with Coach Bick in any way prepare you for what he was going to be like in person? I mean, right? I mean, imagine only knowing Toby Bicknell through the internet and then meeting him for the first time. I'm just thinking about that.
Not at all. He, over the phone, yeah, I know he had a lot of knowledge. He knows a lot of movies. He just asks basically about anything and everything. And, your phone calls could be 45 minutes long, just talking about basically nothing. And then in person, it's the same and more.
Pax, I know you got to comment on that.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, I wasn't prepared for sure. But I mean, that dude can recruit, and he sold me on everything about this place, and it's exceeded my expectations for sure. But yeah, that nothing could have prepared me for that. Like Kramer said, we were talking on the phone, nothing about baseball. Yeah, it's Coach Big.
Cam, would it surprise you to know that we're talking about doing a show this summer with Bick where we talk about anything except baseball?
I think he is the best person for that job. That will see a lot of people.
Well, hey, Cam, you were talking about generating content, right? Just us talking to Coach Bick about anything but baseball.
Yeah, you need that though.
Wait. By you mean the listening public?
No, I'm saying, probably not the listening public. But I'm just saying, when you have that around the field, it takes your mind away from the game, and you just enjoy yourself, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. We love talking to Coach Bick. That's Kevin. We're definitely making that happen, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do that this summer for sure. We gotta pick his brain and bring that content to the masses. So, looking forward to sitting down with Coach Bick.
He's kind of promised to do that with us for a couple of years. We haven't taken him up on it, but
if you can ever corner him, he's always recruiting, man. We got to find out when the dead periods are so we can maybe sit down with him a little bit. But between the three of you guys, you've had a lot of individual cool moments this season. Pitchers of the week, pitching uptown. You three guys have logged a lot of innings this year. Tell me a little bit about the season. What kind of some highlights for you this season thus far?
I'd say for me, a lot of cool moments are definitely the cool ballparks we get to go to. Everything's nice. Going uptown, going to Kannapolis is always really fun, a cool experience to go to, and especially getting wins there. Those are always it's really fun to do.
It's fun beating a ranked team at Uptown Ballpark.
That
right?
too, that helps.
Go ahead, Pax.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I've just enjoyed being around the boys and traveling. Honestly, not being able to travel much last year and traveling this year has been an awesome thing. Going to Houston. I mean, fortunately, not going to Huntington.
Don't get me started.
I know.
No, literally, don't get me started.
But no, it's just been a blast being around the guys, and I don't know. Kramer kind of is not helping me out there. I don't want to talk about myself. I don't.
Well, I'm gonna ask you a question about yourself. So you mentioned last year you didn't see much time on the mound, and this year you've worked your way into the starting rotation. Talk a little bit about the process and how cool that experience was.
Yeah. Very fortunate. I've worked hard, and I've had a lot of support from my teammates. And to be honest with you, that's been an amazing thing. just having them having my back, especially last year when I'm pitching much, and they just tell me to keep pushing and whatnot, and then just even kept pushing this year, and just trying to win for my teammates and for the university, and good things happen when you do that, and my teammates have been incredible, and it's been awesome to be out there, for sure.
And Cam, you've had multiple players of the week, pitchers of the week, almost had a no-hitter. Talk about some of those cool moments you've experienced this season.
Yeah, those are up there. The one that sticks out for me, I guess, is that La Tech weekend. Just with how we responded from Friday, winning those next 2 games, then obviously the bus breaking down, us having to borrow equipment, my parents carpooling the whole team over to the field in order to start BP on time. But that weekend just sticks out more than anything. So,
did you end up wearing what did you end up wearing that was barred? I think everybody had something.
I actually did not have anything. I thought about saying that I did not have my cleats with me, just because they had blue and red cleats lined up for us, and they kind of looked sick. And so I thought about saying I forgot those.
Well, they worked out well for Dragum. I think he was he was struggling a little bit, but those blue shoes, man, they busted him out of that slump. So, yeah,
which we did try to buy. we added Louisiana Tech baseball and asked for a price on those shoes Jack was wearing, and they never got back to us. I mean, we wanted a number.
Those would have been great to auction off at the banquet. Banquet next year. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, after he wore them for the rest of the season. I mean,
that too. He played well.
I mean, we were straight up. We wanted a number from Louisiana Tech, and they wouldn't even respond. We're like, give us a number. I don't know. So Cam, I know all you boys, you shy away from talking about yourself, but when you get as close as you did to throwing a no-hitter, we're going to talk to you about it. So what that is, prior to that game, what's the closest you ever got to that accomplishment prior to that day?
I know actually at Chattanooga State, or my JUCO, Fisher, we played Walter State, could throw a no-hitter against Walter State, a 7-inning no-hitter. And so Fisher, I don't know. I think I hit Fisher. I know I did hit him with a pitch, but other than that, and then that was pretty much it. I know there was another outing against Walter State that I kind of had a good stat line. But yeah, that was probably the most recent one, is those Walter State games.
Has Cam let you forget about that yet?
Kind of. All he will ever talk about is that he didn't have a hit off me in those couple times we faced him, even though I did walk him more than I should have. But yeah, so he'll always bring up the hit by pitch, getting on and stuff. So.
Well, don't feel too bad, Cam. I have found that when it comes to fish, walking him is actually a pretty good strategy.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Sure is.
Go ahead, Kevin.
No, well, talk about that ninth inning. Take us through the bottom 8th, and then you go into the 9th.
I really don't remember too much about the bottom of the 8th. I was kind of just going out there and just continuing going as long as, I guess I needed to. One thing that I do vividly remember is the in-between inning songs in the 8th and the 9th. We played One More Time by Daft Punk. And I was in that moment, I was kind of like, I thought about it. But so I don't know. I was just hoping to go out there. Obviously, I was wanting the no-hitter. But I kind of just remember that little dinker hit. It kind of just replays my mind every once in a while. So, but yeah.
Cam did a good job keeping it loose that game too. I remember he was talking and to us and just kind of goofing around, which I was like, all right, like this is what you want. We can do this. But he was keeping it loose during seventh, eighth, ninth inning. Really, I remember that.
We were in the stands, of course, and after Cam, your dad was there, and there were plenty of people standing around talking to him as coming and going. But after about the sixth inning, he was just standing there by himself. No one, everyone got away from him, and no one was talking to him. Nobody wanted to get, myself. I was in the shade, and that was good because I wouldn't move. Last year I wouldn't let Kevin. I wouldn't let Kevin use the bathroom.
I did. I will say that I looked up into the stands every once in a while. I do remember seeing my dad up there on the what do you call it?
On the concourse.
But I was curious to see how my mom was reacting. Yeah. I feel like I just don't know how my mom reacts during those games. I just don't know what she was thinking. So
maybe that's a follow-up interview. Get your mom on here and see what she was saying. So boys, y'all got a lot to play for. There's 2 more weekends in the season and in the conference tournament. So it's going to be a busy couple of weeks here. And I don't want to get you looking too far ahead. But since this is the first time that we've had you guys on here, we like to ask the players, other than baseball, what are your future goals? What are you looking to do whenever baseball is over, whenever that happens to be? What is it that you think you want to do with your life? I can tell already that Paxton is staring at the ceiling. I have no idea what I want to do with my life.
I mean, my mom's asked me the same question. I'll be like, I'll figure out after the season.
Well, it must have something to do with finance, Paxton.
I was gonna say something with finance. I do plan on sticking around Charlotte. Once my career is done, because I really do enjoy it here, and Minnesota's kind of cold, so I'm cool staying here. My mom lives in Savannah, Georgia now, so I plan on sticking around. I don't really know what I'm gonna do, but it'll work out.
Kevin,
I'm starting my master's this next year, and so I'll hopefully get the exercise or master's of kinesiology with strength and conditioning focus, and then kind of go. It's on the same path like Josh Madole, so I'll be there for at least 2 more years and kind of do something in that field.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Paxton, obviously, a finance degree, so I was kind of, just thinking about kind of banking jobs or something like that. So
this is a good place for that.
Yep. Yeah, Charlotte is.
Kramer's a homebody.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he is, but it's Hanson that looks the most dug in right now. Hanson's like in his bunker or something, man, with all the lights out.
Yeah.
Kevin, I can't let the moment pass, Kevin.
I know what you're going to say.
Did Paxton tell us that it gets cold like Minnesota?
Yes, you did. Guys, believe it or not, we had a reliever, Jonah Patton, that his walk-in song was "Cold Like Minnesota," and that was our introduction to Little Yachty, and it was interesting. Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah. I've had quite a few teammates come up to me and be like, "Hey, that should be your walkout. This should be your walkout." I'm like, no, it's just not a good song. It's just not.
It's not. But we enjoyed it when we heard it and we learned about it. We had some folks in the stands that were did not like it one bit, and we're telling them to cut the music when Jonah Patton came in.
It's probably the hardest I've ever laughed inside of Hayes Stadium.
Really?
When that song, I mean, look, I don't want to hard sell this PAX, but you got one more homestand.
All right.
I think you ought to do it.
I can make some calls.
I think that would be tremendous. Kevin,
right.
Am I wrong here? It would be like
you're not wrong. You're not wrong, and people told me to, and I don't know. I can't get behind it. We'll see.
Well, I'll tell you this: Jonah Patton was a bad dude, and that was one of his many walk-in songs. So it's done the 49ers well.
Okay.
But don't do it for Nick. Don't do it for us. We can always play it on our phone if when you come in.
Well, my whole family will be here that MTSU weekend, so maybe they would love to hear it as well.
Well, I'm sure they're fans of Little Yachty just like us.
Yeah, I'm sure.
What? Oh, okay. All right, boys. We're going to return you all to your evening. Thanks for spending a little time with us, letting people get to know you a little bit. I'm sure your teammates are going to check this out and find something to give you crap about based on this, like they need any help. But
she's going to give us some final parting words to Niner Nation.
Yeah, some final parting words of wisdom. How about that?
Come out and support us for the last home weekend. Love to see you there, obviously.
Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to, not to get too far ahead, but I know a lot of us got our eyes set on the conference tournament, and I'm honestly really proud of our team, even though it may not show record-wise, but I really do love my teammates, and I think there's a good chance for us to do something really cool.
Yeah, we're not done yet, so got a lot left to go.
That's awesome, boys.
Yeah, let's get after it.
Appreciate you jumping on with us tonight.
Hey, thanks for having
us on.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
Sir,
y'all take care. Appreciate y'all.
All right. Cam Hansen, Paxton Thompson, Colin Kramer jumping on with us here tonight. Just talking life, talking baseball, talking whatever, as we often do. Kevin, what do you think the odds are that we actually hear Cold Like Minnesota that last weekend?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I knew you were going to ask him about that when I heard him say it. I knew.
You know me, man. As soon as I heard it, I'm like, holy crap. He just said it gets cold like Minnesota.
Yeah. Pretty funny.
That is the moment I've been waiting for on this show for like 4 years, for someone to bring Little Yachty up.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, we had some fun with that song, and maybe we got one more last play at the Hayes with that.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So, boys, if y'all want to just a bit of technical information there, if y'all just want to go ahead and click out of that, you can. We won't make you sit here and listen to us. Although, if you want to, you can go ahead and head over to YouTube. We're there.
Okay.
Good night, boys.
Good night.
So let's quickly step through the last week, Kevin, because we've got some various scenarios and implications going on. I guess the place to start really is last Tuesday night. Kevin, we were well, you just tell the story of last Tuesday night, because that was just walk us through what last Tuesday night was like.
Tuesday night was kind of hectic. It's kind of my only off night really. So we decided to go see Dave McCabe up at in Kannapolis, and we had Dave McCabe live and in person, and we had the Niners on the road in Coastal Carolina, and softball team was on the road in Greensboro. So we had live action in front of us. We had the baseball game up on one screen, ESPN Plus, and we had the softball game up on the other screen, sitting there at the Atrium Health Ballpark, going back and forth and kind of telling everybody around us what the score and what the situation was. And it was kind of cool because we were there to see David McCabe. We weren't there to watch the game really. So we watched our phones most of the game until David McCabe got up. But it was a hectic night going back and forth between all the technology and then the live game in person. So it ended up being a great night. Followed the softball one. They beat UNC Greensboro, and then the Niners beat, I think, 7th ranked Coastal Carolina 7-3. It was it seemed a lot closer than 7-3 while we were watching it, but pretty convincing victory over the 7th ranked Chanticleers. And then we got to see Dave McCabe extra innings. He reached base on a pitch clock violation and ended up being was he the go ahead or one of the insurance runs?
Yeah, he was part of that rally. The Green Jackets exploded in the top of the 10th for what, 4-5 runs, something like that.
It might have been 7.
Yeah, it might have been more.
There were 2 pitch clock violations that led to base runners.
Yeah, full count pitch clock violation. That's what we're down to. Big night. So what was funny about all that was the people around us were completely confused by the whole thing because we're sitting there, we're obviously cheering for David, but nobody else really. David's dad is sitting there with us, and we're talking to him, and we're watching both these games, and then something would either happen in the baseball or the softball game, and nothing would be happening. It might just be in between pitches or something at Kannapolis, and all of a sudden Kevin and I are like, yes, and we're pumping our fists and stuff like that, and everybody's looking at us like, what is wrong with these dudes? But
it wasn't just us two. There was our families around us too.
That's true, because my wife was with us, and Kevin's wife and his kids, and then Robert McCabe, and so like there's this whole little section erupting when absolutely nothing is happening in the ballpark, and we're all like high-fiving and stuff like that, and everybody's looking at us like, what is wrong? What is wrong with these people? But I'm used to it, so I don't. Kevin is too. I don't. We're used to getting looks like that, so it's okay. But
yeah,
and it was a fun night.
Yeah, one of our guests, Colin Kramer, had a big night on the mound that night. Went 6.1, allowed only 2 hits and 1 earned run. Struck out 7 in that game. Dante DeFranco, I think he was 4 for 4 or something like that.
Yeah, big night for Dante.
Yeah, man. 3 for 5. I'm sorry. Got 3 hits and scored twice. Had a ribby. Fun night all around. Everybody got victories.
I gotta say, I feel like we just really. I mean, we controlled that game. For most of it, it felt like, I don't know. I had that feel to it, Kevin, where it felt like, I think we're going to win this game. Once Kramer, Langhorne got us off to a good start, and then we got the lead, and Colin was obviously settled in, and he was cruising. I don't know. It just felt like, I think we're going to win this one, and then obviously we did. So good stuff. Another top 10 win, a top 10 win on the road, a top 10 win against a team from South Carolina.
That's It's happened twice this year.
Yeah. So I've got a buddy that Kevin knows this. I've got a buddy that has degrees from Coastal Carolina and South Carolina, and he's a big baseball fan of both programs. And we now own a 4-game winning streak combined over those two programs. And I'm always giving him crap, and he responds back, "Oh, it's just the weekday. It's just the weekday," kind of thing. And I'm always like, and this time I told him, I was like, "Yes, you've helped me understand that's not Coastal and South Carolina's weekday or weekend rotation. I get it." I was like, "In fact, thank you for helping me understand that my Niners have just gotten lucky against your teams 4 times in a row." Yeah, that's fun. That's fun.
Yeah. We got another shot. You got one more shot. That's for next show, but you got another shot down in Columbia.
Yeah, next week. I think we're still going to try to go to that. Jimmy said he's a game time decision, but we're going to talk him into it. We need to go down there.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the weekend. We do that and then look ahead and we're going to wrap it up here. But frustrating weekend at the Hayes for sure. I think everybody would agree to that. End up losing the series and 3-2 on Friday, 10-9 on Saturday, and then finally breaking through on Sunday and just giving them the shellacking that they deserved. We led this series all weekend. I mean, we led the majority of the weekend and it just didn't all come together, Kevin.
Right. I think I don't know the total tally. I think we just we led for probably 60 to 70% of the innings during the weekend, and just kind of let a couple slip away at the end, late in the games. But and then we just kind of poured it on them on Sunday to get a W. Went 2-2 on the week. Beat a ranked team. Still sitting in third place after 8 weeks of conference play. So still looking at that 3 seed, but a little frustrating, but still a lot left to play for. Not much change in conference standings as far as seeding goes. So 2 more weeks to get things rolling for the tournament.
Looking at the box scores, led Friday until the 8th, led Saturday until the 9th. And then obviously Sunday, we just exerted dominance. Big breakout weekend for Jake. Don't want to not mention what Jake did really all week, but Sunday with the grand slam and a double to boot. He was Jake's back in the lineup for one thing. That's so great to see after missing some time with a hand injury and after the UAB series. And Jake broke out the magic stick this weekend, and that was awesome to see happen. And again, on the mound, sort of a team effort on Saturday. Paxton got involved. Cam was involved. We have 2 of our 3 guests involved on that game. So good stuff.
And then Sunday, Kramer got 2 wins in 1 week. So, and some of you might notice we've partnered, I guess, with Norm's Closet on Instagram. Yeah, we do a little player of the week each week, and this week we picked Colin Kramer as our Norm's Closet Diamond Niner Report player, top performer of the week. Is that what they call it? Or
yes,
something like that. Yep,
something like that. But Colin Kramer,
Jimmy touched on. He makes the back of those baseball cards that we made for our countdown. So looks really cool. Congrats, Colin.
So folks, couple of tough weekends, but as you heard the boys say, they're not done by a long shot. The team that beat Coastal and the team you saw on Sunday is still there. Heck, as you said, Kevin, still hanging on to third place. So there's still lots of opportunities in front of us. This weekend, the boys are traveling to FIU, the other Florida school, the one that's not going with us to the American. Those games are 6:30, 5 p.m., and noon on Sunday. Kevin, check my math on this. There's no midweek game. This, I believe, for all of you out there, is the last time you have to watch Conference USA TV.
Yes.
Is that
So,
right?
yes, that's correct. So, set a reminder on your phone Sunday at 8 or 9 o'clock to cancel Conference USA TV and stop your payments on that. So, I will set my phone reminder as soon as the show's over. I'll be glad to do that. Yeah, you don't know what you're going to get when you're, as far as broadcasting, when you're down at FIU. I think the last time we were down there, our broadcaster was in the stands broadcasting the game on radio, and we didn't have video feed. So hopefully things have changed and gotten better down there since the last time I went. We did pick up that.
You say you're never sure what we're going to get. I'm afraid I know what you're going to get this weekend.
Well, we did pick up that Pump It Up song last year when they played it 6,000 times. And I think our broadcast booth was right next to the speaker.
That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago we went down there. Yep.
Yeah. So they did give us something of value in that, the Pump It Up song.
Yeah, it was fun.
So, you know what I think we're going to do, folks? I tell you what we will do for you, Kevin. I think we can make this commitment. As a public service, we will send out a reminder tweet on Sunday, either Sunday night or Monday morning, to cancel your Conference USA TV subscription. I think we can own that, don't you?
Yeah, we're here to serve the people, right?
Yeah, we're here to serve the people. So
I'm looking through the conference standings here. I will say we have clinched a spot in the tournament. Dallas Baptist, UTSA, Charlotte, and La Tech have all clinched spots. And as Dallas Baptist and UTSA are kind of sitting up top, they go at each other this weekend to kind of settle who's going to be first. And then we're third, and followed by La Tech, Middle Tennessee, Western Kentucky, FAU. La Tech's at 13-11. The rest of those are at 12-12. So it's going to be a dogfight for seeding the last 2 weeks between those 5 teams. And then Rice is kind of hanging on to the last spot in that conference tournament, that 8 seed, because only 8 teams make the tournament. They're kind of hold off UAB and FIU down at the bottom. So it should be interesting the next 2 weeks to see how it settles out.
And no disrespect to FIU, their players, their program, but this is really an opportunity for us to get some momentum going again. We've got the week off. As far as midweeks, the boys are taking exams. They'll get that taken care of. They'll go to South Florida, and this is a chance to get some W's. And Kevin, it's W's make everybody feel better, right? So
That's right.
This is a chance to get some coming up this weekend. All right, folks. We are. I'm getting messages here. People cheering the demise of Conference USA TV. So you are not alone, friends. If you have been frustrated with Conference USA TV, you are not alone.
Hey, more on that later. We'll get to them later.
Yeah, we'll do yeah. Their day will come. All right, folks, we're out of time. Look for this podcast wherever you find your podcast. If you enjoyed us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. We'd appreciate it. You can also turn on notifications to be notified of more content. Find us all over social media. We've got Twitter. We've got Facebook. We've got Instagram. We still don't have TikTok, and never will. We love hearing from you all. Reach out anytime you'd like. If you're old-fashioned like we are, just say hello at the ballpark. For the slew of people that we've had on tonight, we appreciate Tyler and Paxton and Colin and Cam all joining us. For Kevin, for producer Brad, this has been Nick saying we'll see you at the Hayes. Go Niners.